AI agents are currently being sold as if you could just press a button and the company would start selling automatically, responding to customers, writing code, and counting money. This is a dangerous fantasy. But once you strip away the magic, what remains is something genuinely useful, an employee assistant that can do more than just reply with text. It can execute a chain of verifiable actions. For businesses, the question isn't which models are currently trendy. The question is simpler: where in the company do people daily search for information, cross-check data across systems, retype the same content, draft solution proposals, and wait for approvals? That's precisely where an agent-based approach can deliver impact, not because a model has become a director, but because part of the routine workflow has become executable. The difference between a chatbot and an agent is this: a chatbot primarily responds, whereas an agent receives a goal, assesses the context, selects a tool, performs an action, verifies the result, and leaves a trace, documenting what it did, why, and where human verification is needed. For example, instead of simply drafting an email, an agent would locate the client in the CRM, review the communication history, prepare a draft response, attach relevant source links, and assign a task to a manager to confirm the email sending.
Is the input, and the resulting email, that's way more polite than I would ever be in real life, is the output. So far so good, right? Simple stuff. But what if I ask ChatGPT when my next coffee chat is? Even without seeing the response, both you and I...
Good tasks for a first agent typically have three properties. First, there's a repeatable process. For example, gathering data each morning from the CRM, ad account, and payment spreadsheet. Second, there's a clear quality criterion. For instance, the report should include revenue, leads, conversion rate, and an anomaly list. Third, errors shouldn't immediately break the business. Therefore, initially, it's best to assign the agent tasks like drafting, verifying, preparing drafts, or generating suggestions, rather than final decisions involving money, access rights, or legal consequences.
Here's where it gets tricky. What if my next follow-up question is, what will the weather be like that day? The LLM will now fail at answering the query because the path we told the LLM to follow is to always search my Google Calendar, which...
A poor first task sounds like this. Let the agent fully replace the sales department. Let it make all decisions and handle customer communication on its own. This usually ends not in automation, but in chaos. If a process isn't well defined for a human, the agent won't make it better. It will simply accelerate the spread of uncertainty. Therefore, before implementation, you should ask, are we automating a clear, well-understood process, or are we just hiding disorder behind the buzzword AI? A simple sales example. A lead arrives at the company. The agent pulls data from the form, searches for the company in public sources and the CRM, reviews interaction history, assesses the likely need, and prepares a concise summary for the manager, who the client is, what might interest them, potential risks, and the next question to ask. The manager doesn't spend 10 minutes searching. They receive a pre-prepared situation and make the decision themselves. In support, the agent can analyze the inquiry, locate similar tickets, suggest a response, check order status, and guide the operator on what additional details need clarification. Importantly, on the first stage, the agent is not required to respond to the customer directly. Even if the agent merely speeds up the operator's work by 30% and reduces the number of overlooked details, this already constitutes measurable economic value. I'd implement agents step by step. First step, the assistant only suggests and makes no changes to systems. Second step, it drafts documents and reports. Third step, it executes safe actions only after human confirmation. Fourth step, it gains limited autonomy in areas where quality statistics have been accumulated. Only then can more significant actions be discussed, not the other way around.
All right, level 3 AI agents. Continuing the Make.com example, let's break down what I've been doing so far as the human decision maker. With the goal of creating social media posts based off of news articles, I need to do two things. First, reason or think about the better option. Pro tip, because of this, the most common configuration for AI agents is the React framework. All AI agents must reason and act, so react. Sounds simple once we break it down, right? A third key trait of...
Here, the integrator's work begins. Agents need more than just prompts. They require access controls, APIs, roles, logs, cost limits, quality tests, fallback scenarios, and a user-friendly interface for humans. As a result, a well-structured agent-based project resembles internal product development more than simply deploying yet another trendy service. If you want to start practically, Don't first pick a model. Instead, take one process and break it down into steps. Who initiates it? What data is required? Where does the person make a decision? What error margin is acceptable? How do you determine if things have improved? Only after that should you select tools and calculate the savings. If you're curious where such an agent could pay off in your company, start with your process map. Identify a step where people repeatedly search, verify, rewrite, and coordinate information each day. This is typically the first solid candidate for AI integration.